Hello and welcome. Today we're taking an in-depth look at this 2021 Alfa Romeo Giulia Sprint. This Giulia Sprint comes in Alfa Rosso Red and has a black interior, black leather interior. This Sprint is equipped with the Nero Edizione package, which gives you maroon black exterior mirror caps and grille trim, as long as the blacked out window trim and these black wheels you see. You have the Alfa Romeo V grille here. Before I keep going, I want to give a huge shout out to Duval Acura for allowing me to film here today, and a special thanks to Matt Sykes for helping me situate everything. You can find them at 11225 Atlantic Boulevard in Jacksonville, Florida, or on their website, duvalacura.com. Now back to this 2021 Giulia. I really like these Giulias. Alfa Romeo didn't really do much for a long time. They had the 4C, and that was about it. They kind of just didn't really sell cars in the United States. And then they came out with the Giulia. It was something new. It was a family car from Alfa Romeo. And it turned out it wasn't a bad idea. Since then, they've come out with two SUV models. One essentially just being a rebranded Dodge Hornet, but either way, the Alfa Romeo Giulia is still a very, very cool car, in my opinion. Yes, this is a base model. It's not the Quadrifoglio, but this is the more affordable, if you will. I say affordable. When it was new, this sold for $44,000, so it's not the cheapest car out there by any means, but it could be worse. Got these 18-inch double Y-spoke wheels here. This car is also equipped with a sport suspension. So this car comes with a full speed forward collision warning system. And it has rear parking sensors, as well as some front parking sensors. You have rain sensing wipers. So let's go ahead and talk about the key. For a little sports car, this does have quite a big key. So you got your key with your Alfa Romeo logo on it. You got your lock, which it's a very definitely lets you know it's locked, and the mirrors fold when you lock it, which is cool. You got your unlock. Which doesn't unfold the mirrors when you unlock it. However, well, I wonder if they unfold when you shut the door inside. Or maybe when you start the car. Let's find out. Yeah, so when you start the car, that's when the mirrors will unfold. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it back off. To open the trunk, you press this button twice. Trunk pops right open, like so. Doesn't shut though. You have to shut it yourself, which is fine. And then you also have a remote start function. You might have to lock the car first. Then press this twice. Well, there is a remote start function on this car. I might be doing it wrong, or maybe it's not functioning at the moment, but it does have one. So, this car also has keyless entry. You put my hand behind the handle, open it up, just like so, and step down into this black leather interior. You do have a specific key slot here you can stick your key down into, which is very cool. When pulling the door shut, put your foot on the brake, press this button here, and it starts right up. So, fan speed is a little high, but it's also very, very hot, so I apologize for that. So looking at the door panel here, it's not super big, but it's not too small either. It's a very nice door panel. You got this cool, sort of, it's not real wood, but it's kind of like a wood grain texture. And that's very cool. You got your lock, unlock, your mirror controls, and you can fold your mirrors by pulling this down. You can unfold them again by doing it again. You got your one-touch windows and your rear window lockout if you don't want the people in the back seat to have control of the windows. You got a little storage pocket down here, a little grab handle here, and one of your 8 speakers. So, shutting that door now and looking over off to the left of the steering wheel, you have one of your air vents, and you can go every which direction imaginable, which is very nice. You got your headlight controls here. You can turn your parking sensors off, and you can turn the automatic start-stop off. What that does when you go up to a stoplight and the car will turn off its engine, that will prevent that from happening. You got your headlight controls. You can turn you can turn them off. You can have them on auto, you can turn your parking lights, and you can turn them on manually. And by pushing this in, you can turn your fog lights on and off. And then you have your gauge cluster brightness off to the side here. Looking into the center here, you have your engine temperature, your tachometer. This here, you have a screen in the middle, which doesn't really appear to be adjustable. This is kind of just what you get to look at here. You can see the mileage, you got an odometer, how far you can go with the fuel you have, and then your tripometer, I don't know why it's in Celsius right now, but to outdoor temperature, and the time, which also isn't correct, is not 3 in the morning that I'm doing this. In the top corner, you can see what gear you're in, drive. If you're in manual mode, you can see when you shift, if you're in reverse, or in park. Off to the right, you have your speedometer and your fuel level. Looking at the steering wheel itself, you do have probably one of the most annoying turn signals I've ever seen. So if you push it all the way down, it comes back. And to turn it off, you want to push it up? No, that just turns on the other turn signal. You have to tap it very, very lightly for the turn signal to stop going. But, I guess it works, kind of. On the end here, you have your lane departure warning. You can turn that on and off. And then you can turn your high beams on when your headlights are on by pushing out. But this also has automatic high beams, so that's pretty awesome. And then to turn them on, you can flash them by pulling towards you. Off on this side, you have your wiper control. You got your one time. And then your different intermittent by twisting this here. And then pull towards you for your wiper fluid. Looking at the steering wheel itself, it's a nice steering wheel. It turns relatively easily. Nothing too ridiculous, Works like you would expect a steering wheel to work. You got your horn. So not a bad horn. works just fine. You get your cruise control here. Even though it's a base model, this car does have adaptive cruise control, which is very nice. So you got your distance pacing there, and you can increase, decrease speed, and cancel. On this side, you got your shortcut to your phone. You got your voice command, you got volume control, and then you can skip between different stations. And you can mute by pushing this in. And you got your engine start stop button on the steering wheel, which is actually pretty cool. To adjust the steering wheel, it is a manually adjustable wheel. You pull that down and lift it up and down, telescope it. You got your pedals down here. You actually got an Alfa Romeo logo in the pedal, which is very cool. So yeah, looking up here, you got your garage door opener on the mirror. You got a mirror, or I guess on the sun visor, and then you have a mirror, and then this does slide out like so. Up here you have your lights, controlled by these. And then you can control both of them, or all of them at the same time. This will have them turn on when the doors open. And then this is your SOS. Here you have your rearview mirror with your, you can turn on and off the automatic dimming. And then looking down, you have your screen. So something I like about this Alfa Romeo is a lot of the cars you see on the road right now, the screen will be up and out of the screen, out of the dashboard. But this, it's very nicely integrated into the dash. And so what can you do with this screen? Well, there's a few different things. It is a touch screen, but it also has controls down here. So I like these controls down here because you can avoid getting fingerprints. However, not everything can be done with the controls down here. So this is your home page. What you can do, if you want your widgets in a different order, you can rearrange them like this in here, so you can move them around if you wanted to. You got your home button there. I'm going to use the dial down here. You can scroll left, scroll right, and then push down to select, and then you go up, down, left, right, and your home button and a shortcut to your settings. So you got your phone here, so if you want to connect a phone, you can do that there. You got your climate, so you can go in here and you can adjust all your stuff, turn temperature down, where do you want the air to blow, your defrosters, you put it on auto, you can sync it, recirculating air, all that stuff is in this screen. You get your driver assistance, so this is all your safety systems. You do actually have a lot of safety systems in this car, which is very nice. You can adjust the sensitivity as well. I mean, you got forward collision warning, you got a speed limiter, which if you were to turn this on, so okay, it looks like you could adjust, like if you didn't want the car to go over a certain speed, you can have it not be able to go over a certain speed. So that's actually pretty cool. You got your park sense, like your parking sensors, backup camera, your automatic high beams. So all the safety features you can access and adjust in there. Vehicle information, this is just, are your tires okay? Engine oil okay? How many miles? So the scheduled maintenance is in 8,806 miles and 263 days. You can look at your engine oil, you can look at your drive mode explorer, and you do have a digital owner's manual, which is very, very nice to see. Over here you have your performance page, and so this will show you your performance content. So by drive mode, technical gauges, consumption history, you can have what you want it to display. So before I keep going, one thing I wish they had down here was a back button. Like, they just need a back button, but you have to use this. And you have your technical gauges. So these are your boost, your pound-feet of torque that you're using. So that's pretty cool. Your consumption history, your efficient drive, so all that stuff you can see in here. Connected call services, if you need to like call for assistance, stuff like that. That is how you can do that. And then you have your radio here. So I'll go ahead and unmute this.
We got some good ones here, and others, of course, wishing my wife and I a happy.
Take a little time, yeah, make a little fuss. That's what a woman wants.
So good sound system, works well, does what you expect it to do. Play music. So that's how you can access your radio, and then your settings, last but not least, are on the very end, unless you were to rearrange it. But we came in here earlier. Actually, no, we didn't. I don't know. Anyway, so you have your system, your infotainment, you can adjust things in your gauge cluster, you got your door locks, all the settings you would need to adjust can be found in here. So yeah, that's your screen. Very nice, very simple. It's not too difficult to figure out. Looking a little further down, you do have your hazard switch and 2 air vents on either side of it. And then you have physical climate controls, which are very nice to see. You can adjust your temperature here, and it'll actually display up here. And I keep forgetting this car has it in Celsius for some reason. But that is how you can adjust your temperature. You can set it on auto, your recirculating, where you want the air to blow. The defroster, your fan speed, you can turn the AC on and off just to have the fans blowing. Your rear defroster, it looks like you can adjust for driver and passenger, which is really cool. You can have it, if the driver wants it to be split between the bottom and the top air vents, they can have it, and then if the passenger just wants the bottom air vents, they can have that too. So it's a lot of customability, which is very nice to see. Got a 12-volt outlet and a USB-A. A little storage cubby down there, 2 cup holders in here, and then, like I said, you got your little key pouch, electronic parking brake, and here's your gear shifter. This is very, very similar to the gear shifters you see in Buicks of the same era. BMW, like it works the same way. You pull the trigger on the back and pull it back for drive, forward for reverse, and just tap it for neutral. If you want to be in drive, if you want to go in manual mode, you push it over this way. You can shift. So I kind of wish it was the other way around, but to shift up, you pull the stalk down, and then to downshift, you push the stalk up, but whatever. And then back into park. Here you have your drive mode selector. So Alfa Romeo calls it the DNA drive mode selector. So D, I guess, stands for dynamic. I guess that would be equivalent to like a dynamic drive mode, like it adjusts. N, I don't know what N stands for, but or maybe I suppose it stands for normal. And then A, I don't know. I don't know what A stands for, but it's probably, I believe that is the sportier mode. And you can see down here, it changes the color of the... Well, given the colors, because D is red, N is blue, A is red, or not red, green, I would think maybe A is the normal mode, or A is the eco mode, N is the normal mode, and D is the sport mode, maybe? That's my guess, but DNA. Here is what I was using to control the screen here. You know, left, right, up, down, and then you can shift through different things by scrolling. You got your home button, setting button. I think I explained this to you earlier. You got a center console. You can slide your phone down here and you get a wireless charger. You got another place to put your key, and then you have your USB-A, USB-C, and auxiliary. So that just about covers it for the driver's cabin of the Alfa Romeo Giulia Sprint. Now let's go ahead and talk about the back seat. So, opening up the back here, it's certainly not the largest back seat you've ever seen, but this also isn't a large sedan. This is a medium sedan, maybe even on the smaller side, but it fits. I fit back here just fine. I'm 5'10", and I have plenty, okay, plenty is a bit generous, but I have enough leg room to fit back here comfortably. Got a nice grab handle here, your map pocket, another one of your 8 speakers. You can lock the doors, but you can't unlock them from back here, so that's interesting. You have two air vents, like I said, and a USB-A. Over here you have a center console, 2 cup holders in there. Very, very nice. So stepping back out, taking a look at the gas cap here, you got a little indent to put your finger in, and that'll open right up. The Alfa Romeo Giulia takes premium gasoline and gets 24 city and 33 highway for the EPA rating. So coming around to the trunk here, you got your I love Alfa Romeo's logo. Got a little button down there, the trunk rockets right up, and you've got plenty of trunk space. It's certainly, like I said, nothing about this car is big, but it has enough trunk space. You can fold down your seats using this tab here. You open up the trunk floor, you got some tools, and then under here, I don't really know what's under there. I think the frame, I guess. You're pulling this closed. There we go. Very nice interior. I like the interior of this Alfa Romeo. It's not too extra, but it's also nice enough that you know, okay, I'm not in a regular car. I'm in something a little special. You also have a little pocket down here, which is cool. So if you were to open the hood release is down here, right next to this little trunk release, which is cool. This car is sporting a 2-liter, I believe, yes, it's a 2-liter turbo inline 4, putting out 280 horsepower and 306 pound-feet of torque. It's paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission, controlled by this, as we talked about earlier. Oh, I forgot to mention a little Italian flag, which is cool. And this car's real-world drive, and it'll go from 0 to 60 in 5.1 seconds. So I think it's about time to give it a listen. I want to say thank you to Duval Acura for allowing me to film here today. And thank you all for sticking around and watching this review of the 2021 Alfa Romeo Sprint. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, leave a like, maybe even subscribe. Hope you all have a good one. Bye-bye.